Okay, so now we could pretty much get started. So, what we're going to do here, like I said, is we're going to kind of flesh out this boring part a little bit. And we're going to start by adding a ES2 in here, just so that we have something to work with. And we'll duplicate this as well, so that we have, two layers. And we get to have the fun of messing with ES2 and trying to get something nice out of it, which is sometimes harder than other times. So I'm going to look through a few of these because I think there was one that I found that I thought was okay to kind of start with, and we tweak it to what we really want. So what I just did there, first of all, is I just turned down the volume, pretty simple, because it was way too loud. And then I turned off the resonance because it gives this kind of squeaking sound that I don't like. It kind of just makes it a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more consistent, I guess. It's a weird way to say it, but... and then what we're going to do is we're going to mess around with this and decide which oscillators we like right now. So I think what I want to do is I want to change this to that, so that these are the same here, and then change this one to noise. And then we'll open up the cutoff as well, so that it kind of gets, we have a little bit of a brighter tone when it's opening up. So we're just going to turn that off. That's the velocity. That kind of gives the range that it can go to, but we'll just open this up. So now we have this nice plucky sound, and what we could do to it is increase the sustain to kind of get some sort of a tail sound. And then we're going to increase the release on the volume just to kind of give it a lot more actual tail. So. And then, as usual, we're just gonna add some side chaining to both of these, because without the side chain on both of them, it's gonna be they're gonna sound very flat because they're just gonna sit on top of the kick. So okay, it looks like the stream is working fine. Yeah, yeah, I did get your message, Alex. I just haven't responded to it. And so to answer the message right now, the bass that you added sounds a lot better. It's just we kind of need it. I think it's like missing white noise in the drop or something to like give it a lot of activity. So I was trying to figure out what that was, and I haven't quite yet. I haven't tried that just because I've been working on something else. But as soon as I get a chance to try that, I will actually respond to you with my thoughts and a potential, thing to add on top of it. Because right now, by the way, for anyone that's kind of like lost what I'm talking about, I'm talking to Alex about a collaboration that we're doing. So I think it just needs some sort of activity, and I think white noise might do the trick, but I'm not sure. So I'll get back to you as soon as I figure something out. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna hit X here, if I'm on the right window, X, and then what I'm gonna do is add a compressor, dynamics compressor, and just do my simple quick side chain. Wait, I don't have side chaining on the kick drum? I should. Really? Oh, I haven't done any side chaining yet. Didn't know that. Okay, well, send to bus 20, just because I always send it to bus 20. Goodness knows why. And then we're going to set that to 0 so that it's at the same volume level. And then we're going to hit no output here so we don't get a duplicate of the output. And that's going to be what we're going to side chain with. For those of you that don't know what side chaining is and you're watching the stream, I strongly suggest you check out my first remixing from scratch series, because I do side chaining there, and I think I explained it in there. And additionally, when I talk about compression in my Mastering EDM series, I talk about sidechain compression as well. So I'm not going to go through it every single time just because it's something that it takes a little bit to get used to, but once you're used to it, it's like something that you just do like really fast because you don't even have to think about it. So then I'm going to use my kick sidechain preset that I made. And here we go. It should sound like this. So it's just kind of doing it's just kind of squashing it down there. And the reason I popped up the mixer is if I hit this. So right now I am holding, gosh, Alt? Yeah, I think it's Alt. And then I could duplicate things, and also that copies the bus there as well. So we shouldn't need to tweak that much. So that's pretty good for now. Did my stream just freeze? No. Okay. For a second I thought it did. I'm all paranoid about the whole thing freezing up now, since we have those issues at the beginning here. Okay, so this sort of whistle sound we made, it sounds nice, but it's kind of too plain in and of itself. And I don't want to just stack layers and layers and layers because then we'll actually lose the original sound we designed. So I'm going to add a couple slots here. Let me get rid of this shade and that there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of shape this sound using effects. And this is one of the funner things to do. It's when you get a bass sound, and not as in bass as in low end. Bass is in like a fundamental sound. And then you start adding effects on in a manner that is overkill so that you actually create a whole new sound off of it. This is something really fun to do when you get used to doing it because there's like, you kind of know the balance of what's going to do what and how to work off of that. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to try a bit crusher first because this could be fun. And I did update Logic. So a lot of the plugins, forgive me, a lot of the plugins look really new and I may get lost in them temporarily. So we'll leave the drive where it is. Okay, so this is what it sounds like with the default bit crusher on it. And so what we're going to do first is turn up the resolution. And we'll just turn it up all the way to 24. And then we're going to turn up the downsampling as well. And then one of the more fun things you could do with this as well. What? Did it freeze? No. I don't think it did. I'm lost. Can't see it. Okay, it might just be on your side, Sound Prince, then. I'm going to check my iPad. I am so paranoid now. Apologies. It's just with the stream dying on me. Okay, maybe it's working now. I have no idea. Come on. I don't want I want the updated of what we're streaming live right now. I'm gonna mute this. Yeah, okay. So it's still working. It's just something on your side. I don't know. I get if you can't see, then I probably can't help him. Yeah. I think it's just something on his head side. Okay. So now we have this, and one of the things you could try to have fun with is the drive here. Now, obviously, the drive is going to pull up the volume just like every other distortion plugin out there. Whenever you turn up the drive, you're basically turning up the volume to the point to where it starts clipping. So we could have a lot of fun with this, and when we start to turn this up, I'm going to turn down my volume here to counter it because it'll what was I going to say? Oh yeah, since we're pulling up the volume here, we need to pull it down, otherwise it'll just be way too loud. So, and then if we go to fold or wrap, then we could actually get very interesting results. So. So we kind of have like this very ringy sound now. So what I could do is take the mix and turn it down. And this is the difference that we made. So it kind of sounds a lot more like a regular tropical house flute sort of sound instead of just a simple flute. So now from here we could do a few other things. I'm just going to experiment around because I was also wanting to just try regular distortion. So we'll get a clip distortion on there and listen to how this sounds. Wow, they really redesigned this one. I'm lost. Okay, I'm going to turn this down so it doesn't kill us. So this is one of the other things I was kind of wanting to try, just like a nice harmonic distortion on it, so it kind of gets like, it gets these artifacts in it that just kind of sound nice. So, okay, I think this is the, no, which is this? This one should open it up more. And we'll turn down the drive here so it's not doing quite as much. Now we could choose, I'm going to turn the Bit Crusher back on. You see it's a much more like harsh sort of ringing sound. So if we turn on both of these, what's it sound like? So it kind of just like warms it up a little bit. So I think we'll actually keep that. And then just for the sake of trying it out, I wanted to try dropping some sort of modulation on here. We'll start with Assemble and then we'll go to Chorus and try that as well. They definitely redesigned this plugin. And I have no idea how it works now. See, this is one of the really nice chorus sounds. Okay, so it looks like we have 3 LFOs here. Wow, you know, yeah, I'm kind of lost in this one. I'm gonna have to figure out how this one works later. Sheesh, tons of new plugins here. So that kind of sounds nice. Now, you're imagining that we'll probably have to have something else as well. Now, first, actually, I'm going to go back to this Assemble here. And I'm going to mix it so it's not quite completely covered by this. That's like perfect. Because instead of just being mono, it opens it up. But without it sounding all like it's warbling underwater. Like that. So, now, just to show you what I did here, this is what we started with. And we shaped it using effects to sound like this. So that's one of the things you have to keep in mind whenever you're doing synth design. Remember, a lot of it goes into choosing your waveforms and how you work with things. In this case, we actually use Sculpture, so it was a very interesting process altogether. But what you're looking for is like your base sound, your fundamental sound that you're kind of going to be making everything off of. And then from there, you add filters or you add, actually EQ is one of the things that you could add as well that will really help shape the song or sound in some cases. And then you add things like modulation or distortion, and they could really change up the tone. Now, another good example of this is if you have a regular super saw and then you distort the snot out of it, you could get this really cool like electro lead that you hear rather often. But it's very drastic in terms of the sounds, because like the regular super saw just kind of sounds, I don't want to say smooth, but it sounds very open and spacious. And this, when you distort it a lot, you could get this very rigid, rough, impacting, sort of sound that's like really, really tough. And it works a lot better for a drop than a super saw would, unless, you're talking about like those big open drops instead of like a electro drop or big room electro drop. So that's really just shaping it like this can do a lot to your sound. So that said, this one, I'm not sure if I completely like it, because it's pretty darn simple. One of the first things I'm going to do, apart from moving the compressor down to, actually, you know what? Slide the compressor down here so we can have more room. And get rid of that. So one of the things I don't like about this is how much mids it has. Except that's only in terms of the white noise that I'm really bothered. So if you listen, the white noise, if I solo it out, ding ding, right there is really annoying. Yeah, right there. Excuse me. So I'm going to cut that a lot right now, and we're just going to see what happens when I do that to the synth as a whole. Okay, so this is where ES2 does not shine. Now, if I was using Synth Master, I would route the white noise to a separate filter, so you could, you notice you could have these in series or in parallel. And one of the things that you could do in other synthesizers is you could have it so certain oscillators go through certain filters. To my knowledge, you can't do that in ES2. So that means I'd be stuck with either doing this in series and parallel, and they're all going into both filters at the same amount. So what I'm going to do instead is I am going to get rid of this oscillator that has the white noise. And so we're just going to have like this simple sort of pluck sound, and then we're going to duplicate this and then do the opposite. Now copy that as well, reroute the sidechain for the compression, and then if we go to this, turn off these ones and turn on the noise, we get basically the same synthesizer we had before, except we've split it. So now I can control the white noise a lot more deliberately. So basically there, I just got rid of all that low end yuck that we don't want. It sounds really bad in the mix when you actually, if you leave it in there, you won't really notice until you actually start to having like your mix pretty much fleshed out. And then if you get rid of it, you'll really notice it clears things up. So it might not seem like that big of a deal in like looking at it now, but later it will become a huge issue. So we're just gonna cut all that off and nip it in the bud. Now, additionally, this allows us to do something else as well. We could increase the release time for just the white noise. Mess around with the release and the sustain here. You know, I'm going to try something as well. We're going to set this to around the same amount as that one. We're going to make this cutoff. Yeah, don't want to do this. Yeah, cutoff 1 and 2. And then we're going to move this blend all the way over to this one. So I could try using the band pass here. So which one do we like better? The filter 1 or filter 2? Which you can barely hear now. Okay, I think I like filter 1 a lot better. Yeah, we'll have to turn down the volume for it a little bit. Oh, you like number 2 better? It is a lot more subtle. So yeah, you can't hear number 2, but you could feel it. This one, on the other hand, you could definitely hear it. Yeah, that does make a lot of, it does make a lot of sense, yeah. I don't know. Maybe what we could do is we could just do this. Oh, that's right. They're in series right now. So let's stick it in parallel so that we could have both and blend it. So we have just a little bit of white noise in the background there that kind of we could just let it just stay there and not be too loud. So if you could hear that trailing off. So that's what we'll do with this one. I think I kind of like it where it just has a little bit of that white noise tail. But yes, you are very right. You could you can't really hear it, but you can feel it when you have this second filter here when you turn it on and off. So actually, we could just do this for fun. So that's why we add white noise, because it makes everything better. You'd be surprised how important white noise is in electronic music. Okay, so now we have this. So what I'm going to try to do with this one now is reduce the release here. So we're going to turn on the sustain as well. So this is the comparison between what we just had and what we just changed it to here. So I just tightened it up because listening to it now with the other one, it's going to sound a lot better when we have it like that. That's a good start. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to save this here, and we're going to find a reverb that fits this this lead here that we made. Or actually, did we make this one? Yeah, no, we based this one off a preset. That's right. So so what we're going to do is we're going to add a reverb here. I'm going to add it right in the middle, just because I might throw something over it later. What am I looking for? Here we go. Reverb Space Designer. So now we have a choice that we can make here. We could either make it a large space or a medium space. Probably don't want to go for a small space. That might be a little too tight sounding. But now large spaces, if we do something like a outdoor space, let's see if I could find one. This is a bad one. Let's see. I think it's this one. I kind of like this one, but we're not going to stick with this one. We're going to actually go to the medium spaces and then look at some of those, because you'll notice here that it makes a big difference between the way you want to shape your track. Because there's when you're working with like tropical house and stuff, you kind of have the option of making it sound like I don't want to say option, but a lot of them kind of sound like they're like almost like you're walking on a beach sort of sound. So that's why I went for actually some of the open sound, open spaces rather. So if you see, we have outdoor spaces, and I could have chosen indoor space, a hall, or a room, but I wanted to go for an outdoor space because it kind of more reflects being outside and the reverb you would experience outside. So this is a really good one that will keep in mind mountain echoes. But for now, we're actually going to do medium. I don't know if we want to do rooms or halls. But we'll actually look through a few of these, just kind of give the other comparison, which is when you kind of have the other side of tropical house, which doesn't so much sound like you're walking in an outdoor scenario. It more sounds like you're kind of in this little in like some sort of small shack or something with like a live band playing almost. So that's the other sort of sound that we could go for, and we'll have to choose that. I think, by the way, that I have plans for this, and in terms of like stuff to do for this one, I think I might end up going with the Mountain Echoes. But like I said, just to kind of show you the difference, we're going to go through some of these as well. So. That's a bit too big. So one of the important things I do want to mention here about choosing reverbs is don't just cycle through the reverbs. You actually have to cycle through the reverbs and change the reverb level, because you'll find that different synthesizers need the reverb at different levels. And if you just say, oh, this reverb's not going to work at all, you could be wrong. You actually might need to just pull down the volume, and then the reverb will sound nice. That one's too long. That one's... So that's kind of option, the sort of indoor sound. And then if we go back to the... So you hear the difference. One's very trailing and kind of distant sounding. Another one is a lot closer. We'll try some small spaces just to kind of have some fun here. So we'll... See, the problem is a lot of these are very staccato, which is why I wasn't going for them before. So this just kind of gives you an idea of... That sounds terrible. Oh, here's a good example. That kind of just makes it sound like you're inside a room. I really like the bite that kind of gives. So what we're going to do is, now that I found this one, normally I don't do this, but sometimes I'll do it. So what we'll try an echoing sound. Yeah, actually, I'll try dropping an echo on there later, but I'm not going to actually try an echoey reverb, because there are some reverbs that have a echo sort of sound in them. I never like it whenever I find those. So I'm just going to actually add a deliberate echo on there later, and we'll try messing around with that. So we're going to add a second space designer. Like I said, I don't usually do this all that much, but I consider this one, it's kind of changed the tone more than it's added reverb. I'm going to cut the low end though. Just gets rid of some of the extra stuff that it adds in. But I really like what it does with the high end. It's kind of weird what it does. So, and then we'll go back, and I kind of want to go to this the outdoor mountain one because I just really like the sound of it. So like, look how low we have it. That's pretty low. And it still makes a huge difference when you listen to it. Let me mute myself to get rid of the background noise. Of course, I already had reverb on it, so... Yeah, so it just this one works so well for it. Sorry guys. It just seems to be working like really nice for this. So that's what we'll do, and we'll try adding delay. There was something I wanted to do before that though. I don't remember exactly what it was. We'll just try adding delay, see what happens. So unfortunately, I can't say I'm too fond of Logic's delays. Delay designer. We'll check out this one. Oh, they didn't change it. Okay. So we'll go through. Because the thing is, they don't have any, like, some of them are like very abnormal. I guess we'll try 1/8 alternating pan. Okay, I don't like how on the dot they are. It's like really annoying actually. I don't know. Let's try stereo delay. They probably changed up this plugin. Yeah, they did. Go figure. So I think what we need is we need less feedback to get it so there's less repeating. And I'm gonna turn off the tempo sync. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with this, trying to get something that sounds musical, but not use the tempo sync. So I'm turning the high cut down so that it's a lot less present. I'm gonna cycle through some presets here. We'll try this and just turn it down rather low. I'm not feeling it too much for the delay though. That's okay. We'll keep that for now. If it starts bugging us, then we'll get rid of it. So the delay on the first two key hits only at the beginning of every bar, just an idea. Yeah, I don't know what I could do. Is I could do automated delay. Let's see. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're saying like we feed the first two notes into a delay, so we kind of have it like this. So 1/16. No deviation. Just, come on. 1/16, please. There we go. Come on. There we go. Turn this back up. And we need feedback, right? Oh, it's off. Go figure. Yeah. So I would not do 16th though. What I'd probably do is an 8th? Which one? Hey, how are you? Vlaerk? Sorry, I don't know if you're if I'm pronouncing the name right, but hi, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I think the 1/8 works a lot better. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll try messing with this, but I'm actually gonna have to route it. So we're gonna route this to bus. I don't know. What's a good one? 5. Sure. Why not? We'll put the delay here. Output 100%, and then we'd actually have to automate it, which would be a little bit more of a pain, but we could kind of do. Let's try this. Yeah, so I think this will work a lot better here, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep it. I'm just gonna have a low amount. We'll leave that and deal with it later, just because I don't want to do automation right now because I'm not in the mood to do automation. But okay, so let's see. What do we have? In terms of consistency. So I'm going to save this and we're going to play back from here to here. And this is one of the things that I like to do is, so you listen to one section of your track and then you listen to the new section of the track you're working on and compare whether or not they would flow if you were to put them right next to each other. I'm not going to put them right. Well, you know what? Screw that. I'll just put them next to each other. But the question is does one sound like it has less than the other? So So the answer is yes, there is quite a jump there if you listen again. So what that kind of tells me is what we need right now is some sort of background synth now. There's a whole bunch of things that we could potentially do. I think what I want to do is I want to add a pad. So we're going to add a new track here. And I feel like this episode is being really productive. Okay, so basically what we're doing is a chord like this. And then, so we could just do that. And then we'll copy this. And then I think it's like that. Yeah. And then we just do this twice. So now that we have our nice electric piano, the standard sound, we could swap it to something else. So now what I'm going to do this time is we're actually going to go through and go to synthesizer, pads. We're going to go through some of these. So these ones, It's a little bit different than just dropping on EXS and note slides. Yes, I do have note slides on there, so I can kind of show you guys what I did there. But oh, or are you suggesting I add more of a note slide? Because this one has it. But it's very subtle. I could add it to this one. We'll just mess with this for a second. I don't know if I like that. Okay, when it's shorter there, I kind of like it. But I don't want too much of a glide on the pluck. Because when you put a lot of glide on the pluck, it tends to start to kill the pluckiness of it. So you got to be careful with that. Okay, so now we'll go back to the pad here. Synthesizer pads. So instead of adding a like ES2 here and then going through the ES2 presets for pads, this is kind of like all their collective pad presets. So we'll listen to some of these. Kind of like this one. It's probably too airy though. Nope, too buzzy. I'm gonna try something really quick. Actually, I'm going to take this middle note here and drop it an octave. So we have a kind of like a wider note spread. Now it sounds too static. It doesn't sound like it's changing chords. Oh, the decisions. Oh, the decision. We'll just go through some more of these and see what we find. If I find what I like, then I like what I find. That's kind of interesting. No, we need something with body. Kind of like that. Going through presets is so dull. I think let me try dropping the chords in octave, actually. We'll just duplicate that an octave lower. Hmm. So how you guys doing? In a second here, I'm just gonna make my own. Because I'm just gonna be honest. The one thing that got underwhelming rather quick, in my opinion, for Logic was the synthesizers. Okay, actually, we'll stick with this one for now. Whoops. Clicked the wrong thing there. And we're going to pull up the mixer and copy the compressor over that we've been using. So I'm going to tweak a few things on this, and then I'll give you guys a decision here, because I don't mind the sound of this too much. Okay, so what I need to figure out is if there's delay. Yeah, turn off the delay. Because otherwise it sounds like there's too much. There's like just too much swelling and it sounds kind of weird. It doesn't transition at the right times. So, don't lag on me now. Actually, I just want to check something really quick. Drop frames 18. Okay, that's not that bad. So, come on. So, I'm going to give you guys two choices. One, we could do this. Or two, we could do this. It'll take me a minute to set up here, but you guys, it's going to be quite a different contrast here. I think I'm going to do it in ES2 because it'll be easier to do in ES2. So we want unison. And then we're going to go, actually wait, let's just go tutorial, analog saw. So unison, poly, saw, just set it to a square. And then we're going to do a couple other things to this because Logic isn't, or not Logic, but the stereo spread on this is not all that amazing. So I'm gonna do. Actually, you know what? We'll just do spreader. Yeah. There we go. So here's a bad example. Let's see if I can pull it up. I'm just gonna pull up a preset here from a different synthesizer. I won't keep this synthesizer because I want to try to stay out of SynthMaster for this, because SynthMaster makes things too easy. But less of that and more of then I can't give you guys a project, because I was hoping I could give you guys a project when I finish this. So yeah, okay. Where's my preset? I think it was this one. So should we go for something kind of like this? Or something more like this? What do you guys think? So, we'll say this. Deep or bright? What's the call? What's the call? Deep or bright? Deep or bright? Let me know in the chat down below. I want opinions, people. Deep or bright? Let me A-B it again. This is deep. And this is bright. Okay, so it kind of sounds like people like the brighter one. Anyone else want to vote? Anyone? Any thoughts? We'll probably actually keep both. Just to say, it's just a matter of, do we want to only do the deep one, or do we want to do the deep one and the bright one? Just because they sound so much better layered. Yep, okay. Bright it is. So, that said, I'm not going to stick with SynthMaster. Like I said, that was just to kind of drop something on there quick. I don't remember exactly how I made this. Yeah, I was just saw in a square. That's what I thought. Let me double check. Yeah, because you have the white noise there and there's our saw in square. So, I'm going to try to remake this in ES2 here. Shouldn't be that hard. Of course, I say that, but so we want unison for sure, and we need a square. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna reference from what I had before, because that one's a good one, and I really, when I designed that synthesizer, I was like, oh, I love this. I'm going to use this for so many things. But I don't remember what the pitches of the oscillators were. So, okay, so with this one, good for chords. Okay, so we have course tune. Okay, so this was an octave lower. And the saw, okay, so theoretically, mute you, go back. We should have the saw, and that should be an octave lower. Whoops, and this one's gonna be white noise. And then the trick here, the reason, the way I got the tone with the other one was through distortion, so. So I was gonna do drive here, but that one just kind of, it pulls up the volume more than it pulls up the distortion. So we're just gonna have a low volume and then start slapping this distortion on. So. Just kind of reducing the detune. Hey, oh, I saw you just recently commented on one of my videos, Dave. And I got back to you. Yeah, and I think you were here last stream too, if I recall correctly. Apologies, people, if I don't remember. And also, hello. I noticed you were back from the from last stream as well. So, thank you everybody for coming every time, or however many times you guys end up coming. Okay, so let's see. We'll just compare here, see what the difference is so far, so I can kind of get this to be close. It's nowhere near the same. So that's the hard part. Yeah, see this is why I switched to Synthmaster. Let's see. Wrong buttons. I apologize, you guys, but I don't think I could remake this. That's free. Yeah, I don't think I could actually remake this in ES2, just because ES2 isn't quite powerful enough. That said, I could try an Alchemy. We could give that a shot, because Alchemy is a lot more powerful and should get. Whoa, not ESM. ESM don't want to do anything with Alchemy. Here we go. So we could try this. And yeah, I actually do have, I can show you what I have of my outro and where my outro came from. Just to kind of give you a little insight into that. But it has this really nice chord progression that you don't hear in my outro. And I kind of want to finish it, but I kind of don't want to finish it. Actually, you know what? I don't think I can show it to you guys because I have no idea what the file is called. I have no idea where to find it. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll clear and unmute that. Oh, when do I normally stream? Actually, that is a good question. We should do that right now. I want to take votes for the last time about whether or not, like, how far we should move the stream up. I actually think I have a time slot kind of already decided. Let me see if I could do that, because normally I stream at 2:15 p.m. Pacific time. However, I would like to change that, make it a little bit earlier. Excuse me. And now I don't know. What time? I think I wanted to start streaming at 10:30 Pacific time on Tuesdays. So that would mean that it'd be 1, 2, 3, almost 4 hours earlier. So is that too early for you guys? 4 hours earlier than I usually start streaming. Is that too early for you guys, or is that just a fine time? I could check one more slot, because I don't know how late I could take it. I have to check. It's not what I wanted. Oh, Joy, I have to go to lecture soon. There we go. Okay. Oh, okay. Let me see. Because I need to kind of make sure it fits with the schedule that I've committed to for one-on-one sessions. Although, I don't know how quickly that's going to move. Because a lot of people have expressed interest in that, but I don't know how it's going to end up. Okay. Week. Okay, so someone just sent me a contact request. And that's probably because they found me on the Patreon page. Okay, so... Yeah. Wait, 10 a.m.? Oh, no, I'd have to do it 10 a.m. on Tuesdays. Okay. That's probably... But would I have enough time to get back? That's the question. I might have to shimmy things around a bit. We'll see. Okay. So yeah, what do you guys think? That's pretty early, okay. Pacific and Eastern time. There's a 3-hour difference between Pacific and Eastern. So that would be that'd be 7 in the morning. I think yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably a little too early. So I'll probably just move it up to like around 11 o'clock. So I might need to shimmy the times I have set for live streams right now. Not live streams, one-on-one sessions. I might need to shimmy those around to get a set of live streams in a good spot. But yeah, I think I'll probably just need to move that down. Move it down. So I could probably move this one here. And I don't know. I might just need to do it at 11 o'clock. So how does that sound? 11 p.m. or not 11 p.m. 11 a.m. Pacific time. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of that? And this is for the Logic stream. If I add a FL stream, it's gonna be at a different time. So this is so this doesn't really count if you guys only care about FL, and you're just kind of hanging in here waiting for me to do an FL stream. So this is for the Logic stream. It's gonna stay on Tuesdays just because that's kind of a nice day for me to have it. I don't want to have it on Monday, just because I'm usually flooded trying to organize things for the week on Monday, and I don't want to push it too much later in the week. So Tuesday's kind of a nice day for me, and so I think 11 a.m. Pacific time is what we might do it at. 11 to 9. That's 8 in the morning Eastern time, which is it's like right on top of when people would be heading to work or heading to school. So that kind of stinks in that regard. But I'm trying to pull it so it's not at like midnight in Europe and stuff. Because there's a lot of people from Europe that come for the streams and stuff. So wait, what am I thinking? It's not Eastern time is not 3 hours before, it's 3 hours after. Stupid me. So so that would mean for if we did it at 11, that would mean it'd be 2 o'clock Eastern time. So 11 a.m. Pacific time would be 2 o'clock Standard Time. Europe, I could check what that is. What's that? Let's just check this. So right now, yeah, it's like midnight in the Netherlands. Sorry for you guys. But that would make it GMT +1. So that'd be what, 9-hour difference, I think. So what, 11? That'd make it like 8 o'clock. The stream would start at 8 o'clock for people in the Netherlands. It's GMT +1. So how long the stream's going to be on average? For now, they've kind of been 1.5 to 2 hours. Depending on how I shimmy things around in the schedule, they may be 1 hour. They may have room for an 1.5 hours. But I probably won't be going. It'll probably never go over 2 hours, just because that's when I end up recording it and having it there. It kind of just ends up as like a really long commitment for people to watch like a 2-hour stream. So it'll probably stay capped around 1 hour and 30 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so what I'll probably do is I'll probably move it to 11 a.m. Pacific time, and I'll make a formal announcement when I do when I'm ready to do that. I'll make a formal announcement as a video that I'm moving the stream time, and I'm also probably gonna shimmy around my schedule for the one-on-one since nobody's really signed up yet. That means that I kind of have the flexibility to do that. So I'll sculpt it so that it works out, but hopefully that turns out good. So I think in that case, actually, with the fact that it's kind of getting closer to my math lecture here, and I need to take off in like 20 minutes or so, what we'll probably do. Yeah, okay, so what we're going to do is, good for chords. Next week, we will work on, recreating this synthesizer, this patch that we have, and, we'll put it into Alchemy instead. So that you guys can have access to it and you kind of see how to do that. And also to give me a chance to practice more in Alchemy as well. So that's what we're gonna do, just so I could stay out of SynthMaster for this one. I'll Google Translate that in a second there, but yeah. So next week we'll work on recreating the synthesizer here. So get rid of that. We fix that. Don't need that. That was something someone mentioned. Don't need that anymore. Remake good for chords in right. Okay, so that's what we'll do next time. We'll recreate this this sort of nice chord sound, and then we'll mix it in, and then we'll actually make a transition between here and here, so that it sounds a bit more intentional. It's just not like a switch. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I sincerely apologize for the issues we had with the stream today. I have no idea what happened there, but my computer just got really mad and wouldn't stream. So if there's glitches in the stream that YouTube recorded, I'll just delete it and re-upload the recording that I have right now, and then that way, everyone else has it for viewing, if they want to review it or if they didn't get to go to the live stream. So anyway, thank you guys so much. I apologize. I don't really have time for questions today, but like I said, don't ever feel like you're interrupting me in the middle of a stream. If you have a question, just ask it. I mean, if I'm busy and I'm like focusing on something, then I'll just get to your question later. Hopefully I won't miss your questions. But yeah, don't worry about, interrupting, because if it's a quick question and I'm kind of in a spot where I could do a question, I'll answer it. If it's a question that I'm not quite ready to go to, then I'll just go to it later. So there's no harm in asking. And remember, guys, it's better to get it out there than to not get a chance to ask it all. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.